Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. I see you. Welcome to Thursday. I see Kathy and Doris already in the door, ready to go because they're thirsty. So here's to Thirsty Thursday, everybody. I am definitely thirsty. We got a lot going on. You know what? It's September, so we are teeing up the rest of the year. How many of you have sat here, in September and just looked back and said, this year hasn't gone the way I wanted it to go? How often does that happen? It happens a lot to all of us. Every single person on the planet I know has a moment where they say, it just hasn't gone the way I want it to go. I haven't hit my goals. I haven't done this and I haven't done that. And what we can do is start the whole fall decorating, start getting Halloween candy early. I know what that means. Hello, Amber, by the way. And Jenny and Lindsay, Dream Team's on board. There's Gloria. But I just want to say time out, put on the brakes. Let's have a moment here and remember who you are and whose you are. Let's have a moment here where we're looking at the whole of the calendar of 2022. We have a lot that's behind us, but we still have quite a bit ahead of us. And that's where we come into this place of saying it's going to be on purpose and for purpose. I'm going to be that woman. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to lose ground. I'm not going to look back and just say, oh, but I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Instead, I'm going to say, I have today. I have the rest of this month. I have the rest of this year. I can still hit these goals. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I don't want you to give way into just waiting it out and getting all wrapped up in holiday food because it's here. They've already got that garbage out in the grocery stores. You've seen it. Let's not do that this year. Instead, let's step up and say, I'm going to take back the rest of 2022 and I'm going forward, marching forward with a vengeance, with this idea that you own it. Now, I will tell you right now, our Take Back Your Life journals are flying off the shelves. I had a big stack of them this morning that I signed. Each one of them is signed personally to you. And I do this on purpose because I want you to see yourself in this journal, making your life happen, making your goals happen. We're having a masterclass that is coming up this Monday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. You will not know about this. You will not get an email about this unless you own this journal. You got to have the journal. Now, I'm just going to give you an invitation to go, and you can take a peek at it later if you want. You can pull it up right now while I'm talking, but go to savingdinner.com/journal and go read why this journal exists in the first place. I mean, it's not like there aren't a million of them out there, right? But I'll tell you what, when it works, it works. When it doesn't work, you will see on that journal page that I'm telling you about, you will see a table with a stack of journals about yay high that are all mine that I've spent a few $100s on with all of them, in told. And they're sitting there in a stack to show you that I tried. It didn't work. It was overwhelming. It was underwhelming. It was just not what I needed. What I needed was something simple. I needed a simpler situation and system. I didn't want something uber complicated, and I wanted someplace where I could put everything. That's why Take Back Your Life Journal exists in the first place. So I'm saying that because it's basically the time tick, tick, tick is going on by. And while that masterclass may be recorded, I'd sure love to have you there. We have over 100 invitations going out right now to people who own this journal, who are going to be there at the masterclass, getting their life together, getting their 2022 polished off. I want you to be there too, because it's really going to be something. So check it out. Don't forget that you also, that any announcements that we have, you know what we do. Yeah, it's Friday Eve. Oh, Sarah's here. Yay. Sarah's going to be there too. So Sarah's already got a journal. She got it. She saw the unveiling. I think she was even there when I opened the box, the first ones. So Sarah will be there because Sarah was at Full Bloom. That's why. And Chris is here as well. So it's going to be a really fun time. And I mean, we're going to get into the weeds. I'm going to show you my own personal journal. I'm going to answer every single last question that you have. So I'm just saying, let's get with it, okay? Anything else that you need, you're going to find at savingdinner.com/announcements. Gracie, hello. We are going to pull up TikTok right now. And today, man, oh man, do we have a show for you today? Okay. Today we're talking about, and hello TikTok, and of course YouTube and Facebook. We are talking about how a shortcut to create incredible habits. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Habits, good and bad, are only become habits because they're repeated over and over and over and over and over again. You understand how all of that works. My goodness, look at everybody who just came in. And I can say hello to you too over here on TikTok. But I've got names here. So Nancy and Beverly, Martha, hello. Deborah, good to have you here. And Jennifer's in the house as well. So cheers, welcome. Glad you're here. Now this comes from a few years back. What I've done, by the way, I'm just showing you. I've dug up shows. This is the show, some shows. Look at all these from, I think, 2019. And I'm bringing out all these goodies because, you know, it's fun to go back and take a look at everything that you have. I've kept most of it. And I want to talk about stuff that at the time was extraordinarily fresh. But let me just say this as a matter of fact, this is super important. I read the book Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind because, you know, we think habits, oh, it takes 21 days to create a habit. We think blah, 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 blah. We think we have all these notions of what a habit is. Well, BJ Fogg blew the lid right off of all of it. And I'm going to take you through some of the stuff that he shared in his book. I've got a few quotes for you. And I will tell you, it really did move the needle. And it moved the way that I habituated my own habits. And it changed the whole course of it. If we don't start with a mindset, if we don't get our heads around what it is that what we want to do, then forget about it. It doesn't work. How many times, and I'm gonna ask for pinkies up on this because I know you, because I've done this. We've all done this. How many times have we bought diet books? And it's this thick. But what we do is we immediately go to the table of contents when you're like, I don't want to read all this. I just want the plan. Huh? How many? Come on, be honest. Pinkies up. Yes, you've done that. I know you've done that. Yes, you have. We've all done that. We've all done that. And if we look at the stats of what the stats say, the stats tell us that 97 to 98% of people who go on a diet don't keep the weight off. I can attest to that. I've done it myself. You too, right? You know why? Because we don't put the mindset piece in place. And that's what the rest of the book is about, to be honest with you, or explaining a few things or whatever. And we need to understand that if it's something that we want, then by golly, we've got to get our heads around it. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's connecting the dots on habits, changing emotional obstacles into emotional wins, because it's not just about putting habits on repeat. It's also about emotionally connecting with them. And we're going to get into that because this is the groovy stuff. This is the juicy stuff. And by the way, if you don't get our newsletter, go to savingdinner.com and just get the newsletter, because tomorrow morning you will get an email with all of today's notes in it. Okay? I promise you, we do this every single day. And the reason that we do it is because we're digging out some juicy stuff, and I want to make sure that you have that. Yes, let's do it. Okay, so BJ Fogg said, and he is the author of Tiny Habits, strongly suggest you go get the book. Get it on Audible, get it for your Kindle, get it in written form, however you want to get it, but get it, because this man is a genius. All of the information in his book is based on all the psychological studies that he's done. That's why it's incredible. So this is what BJ said. Emotions create habits, not repetition, not repetition. Emotions create habit, not frequency, and not fairy dust. Yeah, right. Do we all know that? We know it, but somehow or another, we still go back and fall back into this place of kind of wishing and hoping, right? It doesn't work out, but we do. We kind of hope that somehow we'll dodge a bullet. Somehow we're going to be able to, get into that groove and get it done without having to put in the hard work. So BJ is telling us that it's emotional. And yes, it's hard work, but it's connecting with what it is that we're trying to do that's going to make this stuff happen. Now, hear me on this, because this is you can take all of this to the bank. When you are connected emotionally to whatever it is that you're focused on, you're either going to get it or you're not going to get it. So if you are focused and say, I just can't do that, it's just too hard, it's just this, it's just do that, I guarantee you will not get what you want, because you've already emotionally destroyed your goal. You've connected with it negatively. But if you go after something with everything, every fiber of your being, and you're emotionally connected, you see it, you feel it, you touch it, and you're not just desperate going, oh, just wish, but instead you're action oriented and you're going after it and you're doing it when it's hard and you keep emotionally connecting to it, nothing's going to stop you. You will be the queen of your own life. You will have every single solitary thing that you want. Obviously you're not going to do crazy things like raise the dead and all of that. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Nothing can stop a woman whose focus is solid, emotionally connected. Keep that in mind, because I got more. Serious. So a good example of an emotional connection and how that drives even hormones and the whole bit is social media. All right. True story. I can get knocked out and just on TikTok, I can go for a long time. Am I right? Y'all over there in TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. It's, it's quick, fast media. And you're looking at it, and you're looking at it, and you're looking at it. Wow, that's great. That was really good. Do you know what's going on inside? And we've talked about this before, but inside of you, the emotional connection is getting hit by the dopamine action afterwards. You're getting the chemistry going too. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like a good old dopamine hit. Am I right? Makes you feel good. Yeah, I want that dopamine. It's, I play pickleball. I just got off the courts. Pickleball. You win something, you get that smash hit, you make that hit that you didn't think you were going to, and it wins the point. Dopamine. And everybody's cheering. That's your body. Your body does that when you are connecting with all of this stuff. It's a crazy thing. But this is what social media, by the way, is designed to do. It's to give you that dopamine hit. It's making, oh, that feels good. Oh, I should remember that. Oh, I'm going to write that down. It's no accident that you spend hours scrolling. Facebook perfected it, and everybody else followed suit. And I think the best people who are doing it right now, honestly, is TikTok. They've got this whole thing worked out. So if we apply this emotionally charged secret sauce to our habit formation, what do you think is going to happen? Especially the ones that don't seem to stick. Because how many of you, and come on, let's be honest, how many of us have started a diet on Monday only by Thursday to just say, you forget about it? Sprint, even, all the different things. We've all done this. We've all started a habit or tried to break a bad habit. I'll quit smoking. I'll quit drinking. I'll quit shopping. I'll quit, fill in the the blank. We've all done this. But the point is we are not emotionally connected to it. It doesn't mean enough to us. And that's not to say that you're somehow you have a deficiency or somehow it's not, you're not enough. That's not that at all. But we oftentimes just hope and let's just see how it goes. And let's just see how it goes. That's like going and saying, I'm going to go get married. Let's just see how it goes. I mean, we don't do that when we're getting married, right? We're like, okay, it's a commitment. We think things through. We have an engagement. We have this wedding. We have this ceremony, and everything about it's commitment, commitment, commitment all the way, even when it's hard. This is what it is. This is how all of this stuff works. This is how it works when you're building a habit. When you're building a habit, you are emotionally connected to it, but it's thought through all the way. It's planned. There's all kinds of stuff that goes with it. But the connection is the emotion. The connection is, and Nancy's right over here on Facebook. She's saying it took her several weeks to conquer the sprint week. Then boom, it was the mindset. And the mindset is also the connection part. And I'm talking to people till I'm blue on the face over here on TikTok about how L-glutamine can stop cravings, because it can. It is proven physiologically to do so. But the psychological part, like you're ready for this, you want this, you're in it, you're going to do what it takes, you're going to stay consistent. That part is all driven by this emotional need to connect to the thing that you want. That I can't be more and then when folks come back at me and they are going blah 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 blah, well, it's just a placebo. No, it's not, because we don't operate as human beings on this planet on fairy dust. It takes a village of chemistry inside of you, of a mindset between your ears, and this huge hot desire that is fueled by so much emotion that you are a speeding train. Nothing's going to stay in your way. Am I right? And I've spoken to these people. I've coached women who you've never seen such commitment in your life. They are so emotionally connected to it. It's incredible. Our Tanya, who's lost 130 pounds, emotionally connected. She walks around with this necklace on her that says #TanyaStrong, because I gave her that hashtag, because she is strong. She shows up. She doesn't quit on herself ever, ever, ever. And she stays accountable. And she stays in that groove because it means that much to her. This is how we habituate these things and make these habits stick. It's not just a matter of repetition. Repetition helps, of course. But it's the emotional push behind it. You gotta want it. I want it so much that you're thinking about it, you're breathing about it, you're doing something about it. I want to play pickleball. I want to play competitive pickleball. I want to get better and better and better. You know what I'm doing? I'm taking lessons. You know what I'm doing? I'm playing anytime that I can. You know what I'm doing? I'm going and drilling with the ball machine. When you do things like that, you get better. When you do things like that, that is your why. Right behind it. You do it, you do it, you do it. And you know what happens when you're doing that? You change. You become a whole different woman. You become a force to be reconciled with. Am I right? You are a force to be reckoned with because you have made it your life's purpose, for this goal to not be stopped. And that's what your emotions can do for you. I will tell you this, and I'm going to tell you just this pure confession on my part. I have lived part of my life, a good portion of my life, with my emotions running all over the place. When I learned how to harness those emotions, when I learned that those emotions, I don't need to ignore them, I don't need to dismiss them, I don't need to somehow get over them, I need to harness them. I need to look at them like wild horses. What can a wild horse do? Harness a wild horse. It could take this bottle of water all the way to New York, pretty darn fast. Because when we harness those emotions, we can drive the train. We can drive it to where we want it to go. Isn't that the truth? It is so true. So how do we harness the power of positive emotion then? The positive emotion, because the negative emotion can do the very same thing and defeat you, snuff you up, crush you like a bug. We all know that. But that's not what we want. We want to harness the positive emotions. So how do we do that? Well, there's 3 steps according to BJ Fogg. 1 is to motivate, 2 is your ability, and 3 is using triggers. Now, hear me on all of this. This is where the notes come in handy. So savingdinner.com, go get signed up for the newsletter. You get tomorrow's show notes in your newsletter. Okay. This stuff's great. All right. And they all go together. They fit together like puzzle pieces. It's like a dance, and it's juicy stuff. Now, we talked about motivation already, and we all know that motivation comes after the fact, after the action. Most of us don't have the motivation coming and knocking at the door. Sometimes it happens. That's happy. That's easy. But oftentimes it's saying no to yourself and say, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to go for the L-glutamine and get rid of that crate. I don't know that I believe it. I don't know what blah, 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 blah. But we do it anyway. And we stay with it and we get consistent. And then we let our emotion once again drive the desire of what it is that we want. You want to quit a habit? You want to lose a little fat? You know, you want to create it, have your own business? Well, that's all of these things need to be driven by that emotion, and the emotion clombs onto that habit. That's what happens with it. So it's the primary driver. It really is that primary driver. And we know that it is in response to an action, not a force unto itself, because motivation isn't that wise, unfortunately. So to get the thing that we want, and whether that's fat loss, less pain, no meds, vibrancy, perhaps, you know, all of the above. I don't care what it is, whatever your goal is, that's the thing that we need to attach for. So we have to stay on whatever it is that we're doing, even when it's hard, even when it's hard. And your ability determines whether or not it's feasible. And let me just tell you something right now, and I'm going to bet you money that you underestimate yourself, that you don't think you have it within. Or I'm at my age, I can't. How many times have you dismissed yourself with that? Or it's too hard, or I can't. But I will tell you right now, your ability is in the eye of the beholder. Start seeing yourself in a way that you have the capability to do it. Of course you do. Of course you do. Otherwise, why would you be thinking it? Why would you even want it in the first place if you can't do it? I mean, what a cosmic torture that would be otherwise. Do you think that's something that would happen? I don't see that at all. So what we want to do is start changing some of this mindset stuff, what it is that we say to ourselves. Yes, I can do this. No, it's not too hard. Yes, I can stick with it. Yes, I'm prepared. Yes, I planned for it. Do I have what I need? Do I have the support? Do I have the encouragement? Do I have the community? Start looking at things like that, being a little bit analytical. Being a little analytical has never hurt anybody, by the way. And when we can unplug from the negative emotions and plug right into a little bit of an analysis and start taking all of those negative things and saying, no, I can do this. I've done harder things than that. Harder things than that. Haven't you? Yes, you have. Who's done a harder thing than just, whatever? Of course you have. We've stayed the course and done things that are really super hard. You don't think you can do the next thing? Of course you can. You can do the next thing anytime. So one question that I have to ask you, and this is a question, you write this one down and ask yourself, if you really want to go after something and you're saying, yes, I'm attached to this emotionally, it's just not seems to be happening. Ask yourself this, am I going all in? Am I there 100%? Or am I just in there kind of 98%, little toe in, maybe up to the kneecap? I want you all in. It's 100%. Then there's no decision fatigue. It's just a done deal. This is what we do. It's hard. It's rough. And I don't want to do it right now. I want to go sit on the couch and watch Netflix. But I'm going to get my butt up and I'm going to go out and walk after my evening meal. Get my blood sugar level down. I'm going to start feeling better about myself. I'm going to start getting the dog more exercise. He needs it too. We have all of these things that we can pull out at our disposal, and they're free. They're free. It's mindset. It's recognizing that this mindset piece is the major player in this whole thing. It's recognizing that the emotions that we have can be harnessed for good. It's understanding that our habits are who we are. We're defined by what we do. So think about this. Is your definition of who you are just food? Is the definition of who you are just a Netflix watcher? Is this the definition of who you are? We have to start looking at this. What defines me? And who am I? And how am I showing up in this world? Because this is the stuff that changes the whole trajectory of our lives. And then we have to go into the place of triggers. Now, I love this stuff because it's the emotional 2x4, and it gives you what you want. It keeps you going because, girlfriend, this is the batter up. Boom, that's the dopamine hit. Bam. Who feels amazing with the dopamine hit? You didn't want to exercise, but you did it anyway. And afterwards, you're just like, yeah, I did that. But here's the trigger thing. Here's the part that we all mess up. We feel good inside about that. And then we forget about it. And then the next day comes and we're like, oh, I just don't want to do it. This, that, and the other thing. And the I don't want us is the thing that makes that, wins this time. How do we flip that so that the I don't want us don't make it, and we remember how good it feels to get that dopamine hit? Well, this is where BJ Fogg comes back in, and he's just very clear on this. And that is this. Listen to this. This is his quote. As you do the behavior, fire off a positive emotion. Say out loud, you're doing great. Not yourself, not whatever, but out loud, you're doing great. You're doing great, Nancy. Sarah, you're doing great. Sue, you're doing great. Anne, you're doing great. Talk to yourself. Oh, I'm not. And I don't care if you're in the gym, on the pickleball court. I've said, way to go, Leanne, before. And people look at me like, what? I don't care. Dopamine hit. I'll take one every single time. Man, it feels good. Man, it feels good. Smile. Get yourself a big toothy grin and just say, yes, give it all you've got, because this reinforces the very thing that you want. That then becomes the focus. That gets you out of bed in the next day. Thank you, Sarah. Leanne, you're doing great. It's true. It's true. And you get addicted to that. Now, that's a good addiction to have. Dopamine? Yes, please. I'll take all I can get. All I can get. That's your trigger. So your brain loves this stuff. And you know what it does to your amygdala? It calms her the heck down. Remember, your amygdala is the fear center of your brain. It's no, sit on the couch, Netflix. This is what we do. And not anymore. No. Your amygdala is like, maybe that was good. Let's do some more of that. I like give me a little more dopamine. Yeah. Go, girl. You do this. Sarah, you've got this. Am I right? It's so true. And this is the deal. As you celebrate your wins out loud, getting emotionally connected to it and all the way to the moon, when you're doing this, your brain's going to give you so much feedback that, yes, girlfriend, you've got this. You've got this. So let me just say this. Our brains are basically 3-year-olds. Am I right? They are. They are 3-year-olds. When my kids were little, I'll tell you a story. I'd take them, and they're 21 months apart. We would go into the grocery store, and of course, I had my son in the cart, and my daughter's right behind me, and they'd play all these 80s music. Well, you put on a little Madonna, and it's like it's all over. And so I would do the pony going down the aisle. Nobody'd be there in the aisle, and so I would dance going down the aisle with the cart. My kids thought it was a riot. Do it again, mommy. I'd do it again, and I'd do it again. And you remember how your kids would say, do it again, and you do it again, wouldn't you? They'd love it. They'd eat it up, and you would too, and we'd all have a big laugh together. That's you. We're basically 3-year-olds. We're like, do it again, mommy. We want it again. Do it again. So BJ Fogg says this. If you get good at firing off that positive emotion, you can make a new habit stick in a few days. Who wants 21 days when you can do it in a few days, right? I don't know about you, but my time is precious. I'm 64 years old on this earth, 64 years. I want another 60. or 4, maybe 64. Let's make it even. I want more. I want more and more and more. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I can get my butt around, that I can have all the, that I have everything together that I have right now and keep it going. But I can't do that unless I make good habits, the great habits, stick. I have to have that every day. So do you. You want that? It's called vibrancy. It's called vibrancy. So here's the deal. You want that new habit to stick? You can do it in a couple of days. You can do it in a couple of days. Put everything you've got behind it. Allow your body to give you the body chemistry that you need. That dopamine, bam! Doesn't it make you feel so good? I mean, shiver me timbers. It makes me feel so good. So keep this in mind. You got to connect the dots between the emotion, between the motivation, the ability, and the trigger. You can do this. It's a decision. It's that simple. And I'm going to invite you into doing that. You got it? I hope so. Now, don't forget, on Monday, we have the Take Back Your Life Journal Master Class. If you own this, then guess what? You have an invitation in the email. If you haven't gotten your invitation yet, support@savingdinner.com and say, where is it? Because it's a secret link. It's only for people who have this journal. We're going to be doing it. And I appreciate you and love you so much. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. If you have anything at all, listen, reach out. Support@savingdinner.com. You'll always get me. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.